Look, I don't know how we talk about anything except the crisis on the southern border right now. Kids are being forcibly separated from their families, and we know, I repeat, no, that's not good. This is Healthcare Triage News. If you go through the hundreds of Healthcare Triage videos, you will find more than a few where I take the American Academy of Pediatrics to task. Not this week. They and their president, Dr. Colleen Kraft, have been doing pediatrics proud. If you haven't been following the news, we in the United States now have a zero-tolerance policy when it comes to illegal border crossings. Everyone who crosses without authorization is supposed to get prosecuted, and we separate parents from children to deter families from migrating. Multiple officials have said that this separation is intended to make people think twice about crossing the border illegally. Since 2017, when reports began to emerge that this new policy was getting some traction, the AAP has been pushing back. They've sent a number of letters to the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security on the dangers of separating children from their families. They even released a policy statement more than a year ago. I want to quote from it to you. Studies of detained immigrants, primarily from abroad, have found negative physical and emotional symptoms among detained children, and post-traumatic symptoms do not always disappear at the time of release. Young detainees may experience developmental delay and poor psychological adjustment, potentially affecting functioning in school. Qualitative reports about detained unaccompanied immigrant children in the United States found high rates of post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, depression, suicidal ideation, and other behavioral problems. Additionally, expert consensus has concluded that even brief detention can cause psychological trauma and induce long-term mental health risks for children. They refer to studies that have looked at the impact of detaining children in this way. There's more on what detention does to adults and parents, and you can go read the policy statement if you'd like to learn more. I can't believe I even have to think to the research here, because isn't it obvious? If you have kids, imagine if they were suddenly taken away, placed in a facility away from everyone they know, and just kept there. No matter how much they scream or cry, there's no one to comfort them, no one they're comfortable with, no one they love. Your children. It doesn't matter if the beds are clean and the meals are nutritious or the air conditioner is working. It doesn't matter if they have TVs or games or computers. They don't have their parents. They're kids. They're scared, and appropriately so. Back to Dr. Kraft. She was allowed to tour one of the detention facilities and wrote about it in the LA Times. Her own words. The little girl was a toddler, her face splotched red from crying, her fist balled up in frustration, pounding on a playmat in the shelter for unaccompanied children run by the Department of Health and Human Services Office of Refugee Resettlement. No parent was there to scoop her up, no known and trusted adult to rub her back and soothe her sobs. The staff members at the center tried their best and shared my heartbreak while watching this child writhe on the floor alone. Don't kid yourself that this doesn't matter. We know what happens to kids who are traumatized like this. We have research, we have history. Little of that research comes from the United States because we as a country don't tolerate treating human beings this way. At least we didn't. We can still stop. Do you like the show? Always helps if you subscribe or like the episode down there, and it also helps if you can support us through patreon.com. That's a subscription service which allows you, the viewer, to help support the show any way you like, even as little as $1 a month. It will always be free, but anything you can give to help make the show bigger and better is always appreciated. We'd especially like to thank our research associates, Joe Sevitz and Crafty Geek, and especially our Surgeon Admiral Sam. Again, if you're interested, patreon.com/healthcaretriage. While we've also got you, we've also got some great merch at hctmerch.com, and as always, my book, The Bad Food Bible, still available in stores. Appreciate it if you pick up a copy. Did I miss anything?